Hi, this is Henk Akkermans. This is Supply Chain Dynamics Chapter 6. Sysdea Gameplay 7. Outsourcing. In the original model that we made in 2001, there was a U-shaped curve in terms of how much outsourcing you do and how effective that is. And that's because there's a trade-off in this model as well, but certainly in the original model, of when you do more outsourcing, you learn less. When you learn less, you become less productive. And when you become less productive, that in the end leads to all sorts of other negative effects on workload, etc. So too much outsourcing led to too little learning, and that offset the advantages of releasing some steam from the workflow. With the current parameterization, the one that fits the historical reality as it came out, still the same structure but different parameter values, that's no longer the case. More outsourcing is always better, and it's actually quite easy to see why. If we, for instance, change the standard level of maximum outsourcing percentage of 30%, what it probably was historically, to the full 100%. That is because what you then see is that the case outsourcing rate is very high in the beginning, but flattens out after 2 years. And that is because the case outsourcing rate is triggered by the effect of workload on outsourcing. So when the workload is higher, lots is being outsourced. In fact, when it's 100%, as much to release the total workload excess, so to bring workloads back to around 1. But also, when the workload is low, there's hardly any, there's no outsourcing. So that flattens out. You see that the cases in progress flatten out much quicker in this case, although the case intake takes the same. And that has several positive benefits. First of all, the actual case handling rate isn't all that different than what it historically was. There's a bit higher here. And why is that then? Well, as you see up here, the loss of expertise here is less because fewer employees are leaving. And why are far fewer employees leaving? Well, first of all, we have a few less employees here because we hired fewer, but they're also leaving because the effect of satisfaction on quit rate is much lower. And why is that? Well, because satisfaction is higher. And why is satisfaction higher? Satisfaction is higher because workloads are lower. And why again are workloads lower? They are lower because there is less work to be done. As you can see up here. And that's the net effect of the higher outsourcing rate. 100%, well, perhaps that's in excess, because don't forget that outsourcing costs money. Somebody else is doing your work for you. You're not earning any money, and probably you won't even be able to outsource it against your own cost price. Just to show you the opposite effect, what happens if we allow no outsourcing at all. And historically, don't forget that there was outsourcing. What you then see is that you never recover. In fact, the cases in progress keep growing, and this company is, with the current hiring delays, not able to make up for that growth. At the end, after 4 years, the workload is still over 2. That has, of course, a strong negative impact on employee satisfaction, and therefore an increased effect on employee quit rate. So the irony is that if you outsource more, so if you outsource nothing at all, you end up, of course, with more employees, but also much more dissatisfied employees, and lower performance rate. And if you look at the customer satisfaction, then also there you see that it's lower than what originally was, because of the longer delays, of the higher workloads leading to less effective communication, and the effect of expertise is marginal. So that's the story with outsourcing. Outsourcing, what you want is that when it's really busy, you outsource. When it's not busy, you don't outsource at all, and that's in fact what happens if we see the base case. You see here that there was a lot of outsourcing here and later on some more of it. If the company would have allowed a bit more outsourcing, in this case, in this model, it might not have been such a bad idea at all. Because see, if you get to 50%, you outsource more at the beginning, less in the end. How much you can actually get away with will depend on what your stakeholders actually allow you to do. Because, as I said, outsourcing also costs money.